So one thing that always happens on our rides is I end up doing something completely unexpected that I was not planning on doing. And today out here at Charles City is the exact same. I ended up doing something that I definitely was not planning on doing with our buddy Jeff, who talked me into doing it. And what I'm getting at is we were out riding the trails, getting ready for the Ready Hole race. And this was a week before the race, and Jeff had mentioned going over here and hitting the enduro section a little bit and jumping some logs and possibly a couple tires. So one thing led to another, and I ended up on my first run at the tires that we had already practiced on before in the previous video. We went for the bigger tires on the third section. Not the biggest, but the second biggest. And just like all of our other rides, it was completely unplanned, but it happened, and in the moment I wanted to see if I could actually make it over it. And I gotta tell you, stuff that is unplanned tends to be the most fun and exciting things that you could possibly get into while you're on your bike with your buddies and just going out there and having a good time. We've been eyeballing this car for a little bit now, and we'll definitely come back to that shortly. Something I did notice was that the enduro section out here at Charles City, even though it is being worked on, and we know it's still under construction, it's still extremely messy. It's pretty overgrown. The tires are falling over. And we're really looking forward to seeing how this all comes together. So this is the point. I was sizing the car up. I actually was extremely close of just climbing up this little ladder there and going over it. But there's a few things that I wanted to check out first before we went over it. And one of the things is, we're going to stop. When you come on top of the car and you're actually about to jump off, your front end is going to be here, your rear wheel will be right here, and to make the transition down here at that angle, it just seems impossible to me right now. So you're at an angle facing down, you got to clutch the front wheel up and basically ride the rear wheel off the car. So I had absolutely no intentions on continuing this tire run. This is the very first attempt right here of going over these tires, and they are consistently taller than the previous ones that we've gone over, but I made it and decided that it wasn't good enough. I wanted to hit them a couple hundred more times. That was the second time. I did it once before. You weren't watching.
Not bad, huh?
It's really not. The transition is a lot smoother than that right there.
Really?
Because you have more surface to kind of help you over.
You need a second?
Second. gotta have some momentum.
Yeah, I think it's just, for me, it's just intimidating the height.
It is. It's terrifying. Yeah, you gotta commit to that one. That's a lot more fun than you would think. One more time. Okay, alright, yeah. This is the last time. I like that. This is the last time.
Your gear selector and your peg.
I know we have discussed it.
I'm just wondering if anybody's been trying it or not. I've never tried it with Kickstarter, so it might add another level of difficulty, but
Yeah.
I just saw like motocross guys, like tips motocross guys doing the start. He was showing basically when you start with your leg back, your body ends up moving backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to lean and correct yourself as you're going off. But if you've got your leg calf in front of the peg, it creates an anchor point,
Yeah.
so you don't go back, and you can kind of get in the throttle and stay in the throttle more. And then instead of putting your foot on the peg, you just kind of hover it there and then shift up through the gears.
I might have to try that.
I don't know. Like I said, I've never tried it with kickstart, and I've just done an electric start, and I just feel like I can get in the gas and stay in the gas, get in the gas early and stay in the gas longer.
Yeah, because I'm always back here like this.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I feel like when I watch a lot of hare scramble guys, when they start, their leg is back. I mean, it's probably just a lot of kickstart and just, I mean, I know it isn't everything, but sometimes if you get out front, man, it helps a lot.
Hey, little stuff like that can go a long way. I wonder if I'm gonna be able to do that correctly.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I was wondering about how like stable it would be trying to kick and do everything at once.
Okay. Maybe.
It like immediately went backwards. But your peg folds really easy too.
Yeah.
Oh, mine does too.
Just feels really off. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of went off.
Yeah, that'd be a whole lot. Yeah, like I said, I didn't know how the kick part of it would go.
Not bad. It felt a lot better.
Maybe.
A lot more control.
Engine starts the way they do it.
Yeah. They have what, 1 or 2 a year maybe?
Yeah.
After jumping the tires, we decided we were gonna work on starts for a little bit. Jeff had some questions about trying different techniques for starts during a hare scramble because mainly all of our starts are dead engine starts. And he had some good ideas. But I wanted to give you guys a little insight on the tire crossings and the progress and everything, because these random rides, you end up running into stuff like this, and it's unscheduled. It's something that just kind of happens, and it builds a whole lot of confidence. And that's the key to getting better, to getting faster, to having better technique. Is just all this confidence and really just trying new stuff. You got to commit to it. Once you decide you're going to do it, you just really have to commit. The next step is to do all the tires consistently, the biggest down to the smallest, or the smallest up to the biggest, just to get them all in one decent run. And I'd like to try and incorporate that in the trail system and the motocross track. So if we can build a one solid run of the trails, the motocross track, the enduro track, tire crossings, logs, trails, motocross, tire crossing, and do the whole thing, I think we'd have something really solid to practice on, and consecutively get better for the race season. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Leave a comment. I will definitely get back to every single one of you guys. And until next time, I'm 10 West Moto, and I'll see you on the starting line.